All right. I knew there
Hey,
was something I wasn't doing right.
yeah, I was like, I see her mouth moving, but no, I can't. I don't understand.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad to see that you're the first one here.
Okay, I didn't know how many people were coming, so I was like, okay, I just want to get on here to ensure that I'm here early.
No, that's excellent. No, I'm not too sure how I sent out the invitation to a lot of people, so we'll see who shows up.
Okay, awesome.
So what are you still taking your classes, or are you a real estate agent already, or?
No, I'm still taking my classes. Actually, unfortunately, I have taken the test and not passed, and so I've decided to take some more classes, and study. So the roles have shown me some different techniques that I can take. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm just like, so I can be able to ensure that I pass the test the next time.
Well, my recommendation to all my agents whenever they're about to take the test is usually, do you need to sign up for the pre-test? When the company that you worked with, did they sign you up for the pre-tests?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I did whenever I took both my real estate license and my broker's exam is just take that test repeatedly until I felt comfortable. Like they'll let you take it more than once. So you just take that test repeatedly and until you get 100.
Okay.
And that's what I did in order to prepare for the test. And as soon as I got 100, I signed up for the test, and within a couple of days took it, because it's not, most of it's just all pump and dump, I mean, you just got to get it all that information in there, and then you can move on to the next thing.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it's because taking more classes really isn't going to probably give you all the material that you need. The material is not going to change. It's all going to be okay. So you took the principles 1 and 2, right?
Yes, I've taken I've completed all 180 hours. It's just that I need to there are certain areas that I need to focus in for as vocabulary is concerned. So I start working more with my flashcards so I can understand more of the concepts. So like the contract area, I was not very familiar with. So I had to go back and study that area because there were some terms that I didn't understand.
Okay. As far as, do you remember any of them, or?
Let's see, just like right off the top of my head. I know I was getting caught up in being confused, like with mortgager versus mortgagee. I know I was kept confusing the two.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I found a way of an easier way to understand and to also, like, when I see it now, I know, like, okay, how I can incorporate back and forth as far as which one is what.
Mm-hmm.
Who actually is paying the payer in, versus who is the lendee
Payor,
versus,
yeah. Yeah, the payor, well, the lendor is going to be your lender, and then the lendee or the leasee or whatever is the person that's leasing it. So
correct.
that extra e in there is kind of like a little bit of a misnomer. You can take that extra e and just be like, well, that's the person that's either buying or leasing the property.
Yes, and I was also getting caught up with borrower because when you start thinking about the term, and I'm like, okay, what's that? So like I said, I was just confusing, just flipping those two around. But now I'm able to go and I now have, like I said, figured out a better way for me to remember the correct way. So it's like, okay.
And it's tricky whenever you take the exam. You got to read those questions. If you think that you know it, just make sure that you can answer the question. And usually if you change the answer, that's always a big no-no. So when you took the exam, did you feel like you went back and changed answers?
I know I did. I did for like probably about 6 of them. So yep, absolutely. Yep.
Those 6 might have been the ones that made you pass.
Correct.
That's
So
the
that's all I was
sad
like,
part.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep going I'm going to pass this test. I'm like, whatever it takes, that's what I gotta do. But my
Mm-hmm.
main thing was that I was not studying the vocabulary, I was going through it because I can go through and mull over the testing
Mm-hmm.
and and figure out the best answer. But if I don't understand the vocabulary, it didn't make sense for me.
Right, right. Yep, that totally makes sense. Was there anything else that we can help you out with as far as like what you might have struggled with?
Let's see, because I know it was mainly two areas, and look, and the two areas I should be focused on one was contracts, agency and appraisal, and that was the other area. So I was like,
The
okay,
appraisal.
mm-hmm, yep,
Yep, that lot size gets you every time. You just need to remember 436, is it 43560?
yes, 43560. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but for some reason that wasn't nearly as hard for me to remember as like contract law
Mm-hmm.
issues. Like whether it was a tenancy in common or tenancy by entirety or those
Yes,
kinds of
yes.
terms, those got me worse than anything else in the whole entire process.
Yes, I can see that, especially when it comes to survivorship. Because if you're thinking about the word survivor, like, oh, well, they should have this, but it's like, no, it's based off of the fact of, joint people together. So it's like, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
yeah.
actually I've had issues with that in real life. So
Mm.
um like one of the transactions that I did this last year actually is one of my agents as well. And there was a transaction that had multiple people like die, and then
Mm.
so it was like it wasn't even the person that had the title was trying to sell the property. It's like the father died, left the property to his son, and then his son died, and now the aunt is trying
Oh
to sell
God.
the property. And so we had to go back like 5 different layers of who this property belonged to, and eventually we figured out that like 3 times back the property was transferred, and one title company said that it was transferred without giving the it was like bought with two people
Mm.
non-married, and whenever one of them died, the her 50% of the property didn't go to her heirs.
Oh wow.
And so it basically just created this big hullabaloo, and everybody was screaming, and it was like, so we had to go back to the original deed, and on the deed itself it said tenancy by entirety, or tenancy, it was tenancy in common with rights of survivorship. So basically it means that when she died, the whole entire property reverted to him, so now he could
Mm.
dispose of it however he chose.
Gotcha.
Um,
Wow.
and so, but we had to go all the way back like 5 different layers in order to get there.
Wow.
And it took us a year to sell that property. Which one? No, it wasn't either one of you guys. Hey, Terry. Hey, Tamara. Nobody has their camera on. What the heck?
I am a hot mess getting
Huh?
over COVID mess.
You're still getting over COVID?
Yeah.
Hi, Tamara.
Hi, sorry. I was trying to do it on my iPad or something else, and I couldn't get to it fast enough. And I was like, oh, I'll just use my phone and go with it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. And I actually have a Tamara in my office that works with us. So I thought you were her.
Oh, okay. I'm like, did I sign up for something today? I don't know.
So tell us about you. Like, what are you doing?
I actually am working a 9 to 5, but I've had my license in Georgia since 2003.
Oh,
So I
wow.
actually have my broker's license there.
Oh, and we don't have reciprocity here. So,
right. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, Texas is different. So I've been in Texas for like 3 years, and this is my second time doing the application, and I'm still waiting for the background part for some reason. for them to approve the license. I don't know why it takes so long, but I just decided it's too much for
time.
me to try to sell still in Georgia, because I just did a closing 2 weeks ago there.
Oh, wow.
And hopefully, yeah, I need to be there.
Sorry, not to interrupt. I have
Okay.
heard today, matter of factly, that background checks are taking a minimum of 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been longer than that for me, but I figured the holidays maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
might
I'm
try
gonna
and-
call them Monday.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
might try and call them in the morning or on
Yeah.
Monday and see what the status is, because they
Yeah.
shouldn't be taking that long. I mean,
No,
and then once you pass the background check, what kind of training do you have to actually take the principles 1 and 2, or you just have to do the contract law and ethics?
I
or-
actually did all of the education and I've already taken the exam
Oh,
and passed the exam. So the only thing they're waiting for is the background. Yeah.
and the fingerprint. And you also did your
Fingerprints they
fingerprints and
already
everything?
have. They actually had those from 3 years ago. So when I
Mm,
first came, but Georgia, when you do the education, it all goes automatically,
mhm.
but here it didn't.
It's
So
supposed to.
it did not back in 2018 when I tried. So when I realized that,
Hmm.
every time I emailed in the certificates, they would tell me they didn't get them all. And
Hmm.
I was busy. So I was like, you know what? It's not meant to be. But now it's meant.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So now
Well,
I'm just for a good home here.
you're looking
And,
for a home.
yeah. No, I mean home as to put my license. Yeah.
Well, I've been more than happy to talk to you about it. Who do you work with in Georgia? Is that like a major
Actually,
franchise, or you just work with the small mom and pop?
no, actually, it's Realty Hub. They're actually out of Florida. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's more mainly because I'm not there.
Mm,
And, I've been mainly doing selling to people that I know or people that I know who know somebody else. So,
mhm,
it's easier and I don't need the training anymore like they would provide. So, yeah,
mhm,
it's kind of an online thing. pretty
mhm.
much, But here it's different. Texas is different in a lot of ways.
Where are you at? Are you in Denton?
In Corinth, yeah.
Corinth? Corinth?
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
How do you like it there?
I love it. Actually, it reminds me a lot of how I grew up in Georgia. I was in Georgia for like 30 years. So yeah.
I lived in Fayetteville. No,
Okay.
sorry, not Fayetteville. I lived in Gainesville in Georgia.
Okay.
Fayetteville in North Carolina.
Okay, because I'm like, there's one south and one's north. Okay.
Yeah, no, Fayetteville in North Carolina and Gainesville in Georgia. So I lived there when I was in high school.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then I moved back there when my son was about 6 years old. And then I left there when I met my husband. It was like right after 9/11.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I liked Georgia. Georgia was different.
Georgia's good unless you have to drive somewhere. Traffic, and it's getting so worse. The last time I was there, I told people, I was like, I'm about ready to cry
Were you
to
in
get out of this
you
traffic.
went yeah,
in
were you in
Gwinnett.
Atlanta?
No, I actually lived in Gwinnett.
Oh, Gwinnett. Well, that's
Right
supposed
by
to be
Stone Mountain
better.
Park, but no, they're just not adding any roads. So
Mm,
they're building a lot of houses and same old roads.
yeah.
Yeah, so just a lot of traffic. And Corinth is so nice to get around. So, yeah.
My mom actually lives in Decatur, so I wind up having to go down there quite a bit.
Okay.
And I have an office in Pilot Point, which is not necessarily close to where you're at. It's still about 45 minutes away.
Okay.
That's that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
I don't know.
that would mean I'd have to, I think, go across 380, which makes me also, I don't like.
Well, nowadays with technology and everything, you wouldn't actually even have to go to the office. I mean, I have an
Oh, yeah.
office here and in Pilot Point, and I go to the office. Well, here I do go to the office, but that's just because I kind of like getting out of my house.
Yeah. Right.
But I've got a home office. This is my home office right here, and I can do whatever I want. So
Right.
with technology being so much more advanced now, you
Yeah.
don't really even need to have a physical location anymore unless you want to go and meet with clients or something like that. And even then, I remember back in the day when I used to just do it at Starbucks or, you know,
Yep. Or at the
go to
house.
at the house. Yeah. Or just go
Yep.
to their house, the location, and just take care of
Yeah.
business.
All the time. And it
Yep.
worked out good. So yeah, can't complain. Yeah.
What about your leads here in Texas? How are you doing on all of that? You getting some good?
I am letting people know that I have applied for my license again. I mean, I can't do a whole lot yet because but I did move here on my own. But I am trying to get my daughter to move back. So hopefully I'll be able to sell her a house when she comes. But like my neighbors and people that I work with and stuff, I'm trying to get the word out.
What and Lakeisha, this is one of those kinds of things that you're going to have to start working on too, is that sphere of we call it the sphere of influence. You have to start reaching out to everybody that you know and that they know, and uncles and aunts that you haven't talked to in like a million years.
Oh yeah. And I have a credit repair business, so I usually, my clients would be, I would also get lead gens too. So
there you go.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
I was actually a transplant, kind of like you, Tamara. I was a transplant here in Texas, so I knew nobody.
Right. Yeah.
You know nobody when you first hit the ground. And I mean, I had to do the old school way where I would get the newspaper and I would look at all the for sale by owners and I would call them. I mean, this was back in the day when we had newspapers. Now nobody does that anymore. Right. But I would look it up online too. I would look at the classifieds and I would call the for sale by owners and be like, hey, I'm a new real estate agent and I'd love to help you. And that for me was the hardest thing to do. How many years have you been selling real estate in Georgia?
Who, me?
Yes.
Actually since 2003, so almost 20. And I still.
So you're already an expert at all this.
Well, I still do business with my very first client that I had.
There you go.
He was an investor and he made a lot of money off of me. And he really wants me to move back, but
well, see, you need to tell him that he needs to buy properties here in Texas.
Oh, I know. He's waiting to see what he could do. But yeah, it's and
the foreclosures are going to be nuts.
Yeah, I had a sign on my car, which is what they told people to do for sure back in the day. And he came out a quick trip and he seen my sign and we've just been great friends forever. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I actually have a similar story. Well, he wasn't an investor. This was like my son's best friend's father was my first buyer and he bought my first listing.
Okay.
So it was kind of a little bit, so the first transaction that I ever had was double-sided. I had both sides of the transaction. So it was freaking fantastic. I fucking loved it.
Even better now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Better now. I don't know how much you made back then, but I did a double closing in July for over $1 million. So
yeah.
It was great.
That it wasn't that much.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was like $120,000, I think is what they sold it for. So basically the commission 6% of that. No, well, I don't remember exactly how much it was, the commission. It was either 6% or 5% or something like that.
Yeah.
But either way, I had both sides. Yeah.
Yep.
And then just recently we sold his house again 10 years later and or 12 years later. And we got him an additional, I think we sold it for close to 200,000. Terry, you're the one that sold it for Robert, sorry. Terry was the one that sold it for me.
Okay. What'd I do?
You did it. You broke it.
Probably.
You sold my first buyer's property, Robert.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was such an easy sale, wasn't it? He just did whatever you wanted him to do.
Yeah, very nice
Nice.
man.
Nice.
That's the dream client. So,
Yeah.
just
Those are dream sellers right there. Yep.
yeah. And the first listings, the way I even got that listing was just as a walk-in. So you really have to, really have to balance out whether you want to be in the office or whether you don't, because I happened to work for a company at that point that used to be Century 21. And so you had a lot of people that were very familiar with the location, and they would just come and walk in. And that's why I kind of keep the strategic realty office open here in Wichita Falls, because people are familiar with it. They know, sometimes you'll have walk-ins, and everybody gets phone duty so that they can, so that they can get some of the call-in leads.
So you're in Wichita Falls?
I have, my main office is here in Wichita Falls, and then I have an office in Pilot Point.
Okay, I might have a lead for you.
Oh,
somebody
perfect.
On my way, I was walking out of the office today, and one of the Realty Hub agents is looking for an agent in Wichita Falls.
Oh, well, tell them to give us a call.
I don't even know where Wichita Falls is yet. I have to look at it on the map. I've been here 3 years, but still don't know. But I will actually chat them back and see what they have.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know.
And then just give us a referral, and we'll give you a referral for it.
See how easy it works.
Yeah.
You have to just talk to everybody. I talk to everybody though, and everybody talks to me, so it makes it really easy for me. So
that was one of the really, you're a seasoned agent already, so you're kind of familiar with how it goes. And then Lakeisha, you said that you have a beauty salon.
No, so I have a credit repair business, and I'm a notary and loan signing agent.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're already in that kind of environment, but it's very easy to get to the point where you're too scared to talk to somebody. That was the hardest part for me, was cold calling.
Yeah.
The for sale by owners, and cold, just asking people for their business. That's going to be the hardest part. But you'll notice that the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. And you don't even need you won't even need a spiel or a, what do they use nowadays? The call sheets or whatever.
Yeah, those
scripts.
Yeah, you won't even need a script anymore. You just kind of be like, "Hi, how you doing? I sell houses. Would you like me to sell your house?" And then, and the hardest part for me with the for sale by owners is that they're not very nice people.
No, because they think we make too much money off of them.
Yeah, they're for sale by owner for a reason. They're assholes. So to talk to an asshole and try to convince them that you're gonna do what nobody else could do is very challenging. So those are the perfect people that you have to kind of talk to. And one of the things that I learned at one point was that using the phrase, "So are you allergic to money?" was something that makes people think, like, what? Like, you don't even have to say it, like it depends on the context or whatever. So if they're arguing with you about, oh, well, your commission is too high, or you're never going to sell it for what I want it to be sold for, and all you have to say is just, well, okay, are you allergic to money? And because real estate agents can get you at least 20 to 30% more than you could on your own, because guess what? You might not even have it priced right. And that's what we're seeing a lot in this market right now. I don't know about you down there in Corinth, if you're seeing the market values being reflective. You don't have access to MLS yet, so you might not know all the details.
I have been keeping an eye on all of the houses around me going up for sale, and they're building a bunch of new subdivisions. So I'm trying to see what the price range of those are going on, mainly because I have a house that I might want to sell with the profit after a couple of years. So yeah, that kind of thing. But we don't really have a lot of for sale by owners around me. So pretty much people are listing with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So,
they're listing with one of those companies that'll list it for $99 or whatever.
yeah, I've
You
seen
get
a
a lot
couple
of
of those
those.
on TV here. Yeah, a little different, but yeah,
It
they,
cracks me up.
yeah. I'm like, they're getting their money some kind of way. So you could believe what you want to believe, but everybody has to make money to survive. So
Well, listing in an MLS is not very complicated. So they probably, I know here in Wichita Falls, we had, and it's funny because Zillow was going through this phase where they were actually brokerages and they were going to be buying houses to flip. We
yep.
saw some of that down in the Dallas area. And
Yeah.
then not even 6 months later, they turn and say, oh, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yep. They're already out. I'm
Yeah, that
surprised
shit's
Open
too
Door
hard.
hasn't not. Yeah, done the same thing. Because Open Doors really bought a lot in Georgia.
Open
They're
door.
one of the biggest competitors around that 250,000 range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a couple buyers and they were bringing cash offers over list price like it was nothing, and they were all Open Door.
Yeah. I'm actually the listing agent for Fannie Mae for the top 13 counties in Texas.
Okay.
So we're about to see a huge influx of REOs. And I don't know, we're gonna see what's gonna happen on the market
Yep.
because it could tank it, but
Right.
at the
Like
same time,
2008.
well, Wichita Falls is in a weird bubble, and even the whole state of Texas is in kind of a
Yeah.
weird bubble. We don't really feel the market like they usually do.
Yeah. I heard that.
In 2008 and 9, our property values here in Wichita Falls didn't really drop, but what they did do is kind of get stale, like they just kind of
Yeah.
plateaued and stayed right there for a very long time. So it wasn't until about 2000, I want to say it was about 2008, no, sorry, 2013 when our property values kind of started to go back up again. And
Okay.
then this last year, it's pretty much been freaking nuts.
Yeah. Everywhere.
It's been
Yeah.
nuts. I had
Mhm.
no clue what the heck is in the water. Some of the
Yeah.
properties that we'd only been selling like for $50,000 or so went up to $125,000. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the shit is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
It's crazy everywhere like
and
that. Georgia's been the same, but Georgia actually tanked. They were one of the biggest states to tank. So, I
no,
mean,
not he, for some reason, I don't know what it is, whether it was
yeah.
because we didn't really have a lot of mortgage fraud or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah, because we had a lot of mortgage fraud in Georgia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're still having it. They're still doing crazy things, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not like before though. But I figure they'll tank again most likely. I hope not though.
So what was the funnest thing for you? What's your favorite to work with buyers, sellers?
I wanted to work with sellers, but I never had an opportunity to do a lot of sellers because I was working with buyers all the time. And the same buyers over and over again, or somebody they knew. So I've been a buyer's agent the majority of all my time, but I do
Mm-hmm.
want to list to exist. I need to survive on listing. So I
Mm-hmm.
would like to list more, but I like people.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's easier to get closer to people as buyers,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. I don't never feel like I'm really selling them anything. I'm just helping them make a decision on
Right. You're
something.
helping them
So
find
it's easy.
something.
Yeah.
You need to generate too. Another thing for you, Lakeisha, is to start generating a lot of contacts as far as like title companies and
Mhm.
lenders and inspectors. And you might want to start working on making friends with contractors, roofers, and get you a handyman. You need to have a handyman in your
You
pocket.
need a handyman, and when you find one, I need one too, because I have not
Oh,
found one
okay.
yet. Yes, we will have to get together for sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm
gonna
not
be
too far
doing this
from
every
you,
week.
so.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
be doing
Okay.
this every week, so you can come on here and join
Okay.
us every
Yeah.
week, and we can just jibber
Mhm.
jabber about everything
Right.
or nothing.
Yeah, yeah, but you do need a good contractor, especially if you do the listings.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
even if you just deal with buyers, it's always a good idea, because then whenever your buyers do an inspection or whatever, and this is what I do a lot with my
Yeah.
buyers here, is
Mhm.
that if there's a few things on there that they're really concerned about, I'll be like, okay, well, let's ask them first to see if they'll fix it. And if they won't,
Right.
I've got a handyman. He can
Right.
go in there and knock those things out before you move in very quickly. And it's not going to break your bank.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I will say though that I have used the same lender for probably the last, let's see. Him and his wife beat me and my nephew in a tennis match. So that would have been maybe about 6 years, 8 years. I've used the same guy, and he is now running the office. So, and they just opened up over here in Texas. I know they're over by Tyler, but I have to ask them, have they ventured an office here in Dallas yet? Because they're the best. I mean, he's closed people for me in less than 2 weeks. Yeah, so he was really great. And
Well, if they do open up one in the Dallas area, let me know, because
yeah,
that's always a struggle
always
for me.
good.
Here in Wichita Falls, it isn't, but we've
Yeah.
got lenders. I've got a really good lender right now, that they just opened up a branch here, and they are originally from Missouri, and it's called Flat Branch Loans.
Okay, never heard of them.
No, I had never heard of them either, but like
Okay.
3 or 4 of our local lender savants, like that work at the local credit agencies and local banks that we use on a regular, that we always tell people to go to, because it's always
Mhm.
best to go local. Chase,
Yeah,
Wells Fargo, all of the big ones, you are nightmare for loans for us. So we just don't like we just don't like dealing with them.
right.
But all like 3 or 4 of those lenders, the loan officers, moved to this flat branch and have just been getting clients out the wazoo to switch over. And I just used them on 2 transactions, and they pre-qualified them within like a day.
Okay, yep.
They had like an
Okay.
app, and they just do it right there on the app, and
Mhm.
bing, bang, boom. And we just got the appraisal on one. We have a closing on the 21st for my first buyers, and they've only had the loan for a week, and they're going to be ready to close this week if we wanted to.
Yeah,
They
great.
didn't even have 30 days to deal with all of this, because
Yeah.
originally they had gone to Rocket Mortgage, which,
Oh,
Lakeisha,
okay.
stay away. That's the nightmare. Those
Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
online lenders don't, I mean, if your clients use them and they're absolutely determined to use them and you can't talk them out of it, then that's fine, because sometimes they do good work. But look very closely at their fine print, because
Okay.
these clients had a loan origination, and you might not know what that means just yet, but a loan origination fee, which is the fee that the lender charges to process all of this. Their loan origination fee is usually only supposed to be up to 1%, but most of the lenders in town won't go anywhere near 1%. They'll only charge like
Oh.
5 to 8 to, maybe at the most $1,000 for a loan origination fee.
Oh, wow.
So the Rocket Mortgage was charging that full 1% for the loan origination fee on $200,000, so or
Mhm.
$215,000. So that was $2,100 just in a loan origination fee.
Right.
And then they were buying points, and it was only like not even a quarter of a point. It was like 0.125. That's how much
Oh.
they were getting off of their interest rate, and it was going to cost them $6,000 to do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So points
Yeah.
are another way, and they'll get the online lenders will get them every single time on those
Mhm.
2 things: points and loan origination fees, because I have clients that tell me all the time, oh, well, this client, this online Rocket Mortgage or Mr. Cooper or whichever online program they went to said that I can get 2.875%. And I'm like, show me the good faith estimate. And then I'll tell you what's going on. So as soon as they show me that good faith estimate, I take a look at it. And sure enough, there is a loan origination fee and they're paying for points. And I tell them every single time, talk to a local lender first and ask them how much it costs for points. Right. Because those points, and then they went with this flat branch thing. Their loan origination fee was now only $700. And if they wanted to get it down to the same interest rate that Rocket Mortgage was giving them, it would have only cost another $500. So basically, they just sent me, they just sent me the seller, the CD, the seller's disclosure. Yeah. Not the seller's disclosure. The disclosure. Yeah. We call it a CD or a HUD. They just sent me the HUD and they had to bring cash to close $550. Nice. Versus $7,000. Yeah, there'll be clients forever, and they'll tell everybody how you save money. So we save them $6,500. Yeah, nice. And they're military, so they were very appreciative of that because they were getting I mean, that's the whole reason why you get a VA loan is to to minimize that closing cost. Right. Yep. And they were getting $7,000 is what Rocket Mortgage told them was their closing cost, which was freaking nuts. Wow. So that's one of the things that you can do to become a hero to your buyers. Yep. Is get that lender that's going to be in your pocket, that's going to be able to make you feel you be the superhero in that transaction.
Oh, and I have a couple of those already lined up that also send me referrals too. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, ladies, I'm gonna have to jump off this call. I knew it was for 30 minutes, so I had we're out of time. But I know we could talk all day, but we'll be back next week. And if you guys, just put us on your calendar and meet us up here every week. And Lakeisha, thanks for joining us, and Tamara, thanks for joining us. And thank you for the invite. Hopefully, we can help you get that pass on the exam, Lakeisha. All right, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. If you need any help studying, just let me know. I mean, if you guys want to exchange phone numbers or something, I've taken it a few times. Yeah, but if you want to put it in the comments, you can. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, if you want to put your phone number in the comments, then you guys can be in touch with each other. And I'll put my phone number in there too, so you guys can call me if you ever need anything. 257. Oh yeah, I will be calling you to. Yeah, I'm excited. Just to get some more info on. Yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to you about strategic and strategic realty and our team members. And Terry can tell you all kinds of good. She can tell you all the ins and outs if you like. Oh yeah, of how much she loves it at strategic. Yeah, I don't hear her saying anything though. Why did she? She's laughing. I know. Call me up. I'll give you the goods. Yeah, she'll give you the bochinche. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. All right, and thanks again. Have a good week. You too. You too. Bye-bye. Bye.